Make it make sense. You say a friend of me from back in the day mentioned some things I used to say and some things I used to do. But tell me something. What made them feel comfortable enough that they could say those things around you? Now, please don't confuse my passionate delivery with anger. You see, I know that I'm more subdued usually, but this poem right here, this is more revival than eulogy, more sweet 16 and funeral scene, more me living in the now and not confined to who they thought I used to be. With all these new people around me and not the ones who I used to see, and past betrayals coupled with some familiar faces in unfamiliar places, along with all these new opportunities. Got my third eye scoping as I look to the heavens, hoping they'll tell me who will my new Judas be. And that calls for a celebration. It means I done came up a notch. They say new level, new devils. I say new people on my team to scheme on how to dig me a plot. Lay my body down in the coffin with my dreams draped neatly across the top. But see, I never fit in, probably by God's design. So then I guess there's no reason why I think outside that box. And so therefore I stay on watch. Or better yet, I'm zoned in. And through a partially paranoid lens, I peep patterns of spectators, known haters, passers-by, drones in the sky, co-workers, old friends, and even my own kin, home skin can see. The truth is, your enemy will never betray you. Nah, it's usually a neighbor that hates your favor, just like Cain was with Abel. I'm telling you, that old jealous spirit is ruthless. So I'd advise you to first check where your crew is in order to find your new Judas. First, locate the dude or the chick with the hugest hubris. Now, they're going to play humble and claim that they love you and everything that you did. And if you start to love it, they're going to do more and more of it. But never forget, they're just a remora fish trying to swim congruent with your movement. Yeah, they want to ride your wave while they singing your praise. But they just a wolf in disguise that prays. So right here and now I pray. Dear Father, please don't let me get so drunk off the love to the point that it makes me stupid. Because see, I keep my D up. Because the moment I drop my guard and ease up, just like a true Judas, they're going to put a knife in my spine or a part in my Caesar. Damn. It too, Brutus. So you just run along and let them know I said fuck what they say. Tell them I choose to live my life as a lucid dream, and around these parts, the steps on the road to success are as surreal as they seem. And it seems I've been created by the Creator to create scenes of art. Painted and framed by joy and pain. Let them know I don't play no games when I'm up here doing what I do. And the fact still remains, you have yet to explain what made them feel comfortable enough that they could say those things around you. Hey, what's up, everybody? This your boy, Poet One Deep. I'm a poet based here in Orlando. The piece I just spit for y'all is called New Judas. New Judas deals with the level up that we all aspire for in our lives, and the betrayal that sometimes comes with it, or the backbiting from people in our past that refuse to let go of that past image of us. So that's what that poem deals with.
How does your faith influence your poetry?
I put God in as much as I can in my poetry. I rely on it. By no means do I hit you over the head with the Bible. I employ scripture when I can, but a question like that, it bleeds over into my everyday life. You understand what I'm saying? So for as much as I lean on faith in my everyday life, it bleeds over into the poetry. So I'm just giving you me when I give the poetry.
What is it about is there a difference between who you are as a person and your poetry? How does the two kind of intersect?
They intersect in the way that One Deep creatively says what Patrick, my given name, thinks or says. One Deep just does it in a creative way. But other than that, there's really no difference. Like I got a performing name, but I don't have an alter ego per se. It's not my superhero name.
What inspired you to write this piece? What was the story behind it?
Niggas was hating. Backbiting. We supposed to grow. That's, you know what I mean? For as long as we're here, we're not supposed to stay in the same space. Physically, spiritually, mentally, financially. No way in the world am I trying to be in the same spot this time next year than I am right now. It's constantly about growth. It's constantly about evolution. Sometimes people can't let go of that, what you were, or what their perception of you was. You know, if you dig deep enough into my past, then those people who got left behind, I'll be like, no way is he doing this right now. I heard about it, but I ain't, you know, I mean, he can't do this, or, you know, no, you can't do it. I can do what the hell I want to do.
What inspires you to write?
Somewhere along the way, I discovered I was an artist, and the way that I discovered that was I had a burning desire to create. I always been good with words. My background is music. I did rap for a long time. And then it bled over into poetry. Once there was a gap between when I stopped doing music, and it was like this void in my life, and I was like, yo, like there's something in me that I need to get off. And you know, we all have our canvases. I used to draw a little bit when I was a kid, but I didn't label myself as an artist in that context, paint, sculpt, or what have you. My thing was always the words. I just like to spit. I get off on writing, and I'll be smiling. I'll be like, I can't wait till these cats hear this. You know what I mean? It's something in me.
How does your background in hip hop, being a hip hop artist, and being an illustrator, affects your poetry today?
Good question. It helps it a lot because when I'm writing, I'm trying to get the absolute most out of what I'm writing. Meaning, I'm gonna try to do it to the best that I possibly can do it. You understand what I'm saying? And when you're writing the bars, it's like, okay, what other kind of way can I use to say this thing? What other words can I use, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just about pushing yourself to be the best possible version that you can be in any particular moment, you know? So I write like that, with that in mind. And it's always been like that since I did music or whatever. I never want to do basic bars. Like, the words I use, sometimes those might be basic, but the intricacies within the rhyme scheme, like I like to switch up rhyme schemes. So I might, if I'm still busting it down like bars, then a typical rhyme scheme is on the 2 and the 4 if you're writing on a beat or whatever. One thing I really love about poetry is it frees you up. You don't have to rhyme like that. And not to say that you necessarily have to rhyme like that when you're doing music, but I'm just saying the difference that I encountered that made me better. I like poetry better. I got more space to create and to kind of dive into different topics and subject matter.
For other artists that are looking to transition from hip hop artistry to poetry, tell me, let's get some advice in regards to, that transition.
Okay, you might be a killer on the beats. That doesn't mean at the onset you're going to be able to do that doing poetry. Like, you gotta learn. I had to learn when I decided I wanted to take spoken word seriously. I started doing homework. I was going on YouTube, and a lot of these people that are not just social media famous, but that we can find on our social medias that are like big dog heavy hitters in the spoken word world, I started finding them just going on YouTube. Like, I would see people performing. I didn't know they was doing slams. I didn't know what the hell a slam was. I just saw these cats performing, and I just thought they was dope, and I started following them or whatever. I found out all that kind of stuff about slams and whatnot later on, but I just thought they were dope. And some of them did their poetry in traditional rhythmic way, rhyming way. Others did it different, but I watched and I learned. So anybody, my advice, just like with anything else, study your craft. Because it's gonna be a transition. You're no longer what I call a slave to the beat when you're a spoken word artist versus when you're doing rap. You know what I mean? You're in the confines of the tempo of that track. Spoken word, you're no longer, like, you're free from that. So learn how to do that to the best of your ability.
Any lasting words?
Yeah. Somebody told me a couple years ago, when it comes to this poetry and this spoken word, tell your story. Tell the truth and tell your story. I heard DMX say, bless the dog, I heard DMX say, write your pain. Write your pain. My poetry is really me learning the mastery of alchemizing my pain and my experiences and the things I go through on a daily basis. So it's you getting 100% truth from me. I would say that tell your truth, tell your story, alchemize that pain, don't tote that pain. The thing I learned in the artist community, we are a cocktail for pain, mental illness, and a lot of things like that. And this is an outlet for a lot of us. Don't be scared to tell your truth, man. Somebody gonna feel you. I promise you that. Yeah.